je veux mourir sur scène. It's going to be really interesting looking at a single episode rather than like a whole season like I normally do. Bonjour tout le monde. We're not doing that again. Hi, my name is Matthew, and you might know me as belakboy on TikTok. It's belakboy on Twitter, belak_Matt_ on Instagram, or you might not know me at all. For those of you who don't, I am a content creator that talks all things World of Wonder and Drag Race, especially that of Drag Race outside of the US. And today, for my 5th video ever, I want to do something really quick, but really special. Drag Race France Season 2. But more specifically, Drag Race France Season 2, Episode 5, The Musi Drag. You guys already saw the title of this video, so I'm not really spoiling what I'm going to be talking about, but this is what I would categorize as a perfect episode of Drag Race. And I just really wanted to get on here and talk about it really fast. There are a handful of episodes in the RuPaul Cinematic Universe that I would consider as perfect. All-Star 6, Episode 3, Side Hustles. España 2, Episode 2, The Supreme Eleganza Talent Extravaganza. Canada's Drag Race, Season 2, Episode 2, Under the Big Top. And, of course, All-Stars 2, Episode 5, Revenge of the Queens, which Jack Fed has an amazing video about this episode. A lot of my inspiration and criteria in this video I actually pulled from that video, in fact, so I recommend giving it a watch and giving Jack a follow. Where I am going to diverge from Jack, however, is I am going to be looking at this episode of Drag Race France in a vacuum, rather than its relation to the rest of the season, where Revenge of the Queens is a perfect episode because it is the culmination of so many different storylines that season. La Musi Drag is a perfect episode by the merits of its own 2 legs. Mostly. Put a pin in that. So, Season 2, Episode 5 of Drag Race France. What about it makes it so perfect? Let me give you a quick flyover of the challenge. Oh, spoilers, by the way. As you might have inferred from the title of this episode, the challenge this past week was the Rusical, France's first. And dare I say, more often than not, the Rusical is often the highlight of the season. And in some cases, the best episode of said season. Think Shade, the Rusical on Season 6. Think Wig Loose on Season 15. Thai Musical on Thailand 2. West End Wendy's on UK vs. the World. And, duh, Under the Big Top from Canada 2, which I mentioned earlier. France 2 is no different. The Rusical is the best episode of this season so far, and the best episode in Drag Race France history so far. And I know we are only about halfway through this season, but it's going to be hard to top this episode. It seems that a lot of people agree because the IMDb score of this episode is sitting at a 9.9 right now, which, if I am not mistaken, is the highest of any Drag Race episode ever, which, dare I say, is insane. So the theme of the Rusical was the Hunchback of Notre Drag, which I think is a spectacular idea. I really do. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is probably one of the most famous pieces of French literature ever, only shrouded probably by Les Mis. And from what I've gathered from a lot of people in my TikTok comments, the stage play adaptation is one of the most well-adapted French musicals ever. The Drag Race France producers retell the story to be about queer identity and accepting one's femininity, and the tribulations that come along with that. So right off the bat, you have a perfect storm forming. I don't think I used the right idiom, but whatever. A well-known French property that is repurposed to tackle modern and relevant issues. Overall, the Rusical itself, as it was written, was okay. It's camp, it's corny, but you know, I am not expecting Victor Hugo level writing from a Drag Race Rusical. But what makes this one stand out is that, well, everyone truly did well. It's rare from Drag Race where you will have a challenge where every single person did well. Not even everyone did at least okay. No, but rather at least everyone did a good job. In my opinion, even the bottom 2 could have been safe or high on any other Rusical. In fact, they were placed in the bottom over trivial things, which could be constituted as hair splitting. In Punani's case, she was only in the bottom because her partner in the challenge, Sarah, outshone her. In Ginger's case, it was because she didn't change her makeup enough to fit the character in the Rusical, instead only using her normal mug and only adding a mole. If this is the criteria to put two queens in the bottom, then that's a telltale sign that you just witnessed an amazing challenge. I'm reminded of Madonna, the unauthorized Rusical, another Rusical. How about that? Where everyone did so well that the only reason Britta lip-synced was because she wore the wrong earring on the runway. The real power of this episode comes after the Rusical, however, when the judges choose to talk to the queens after they finished performing. As I said earlier, The Hunchback of Notre Dame is about queer identity and acceptance. The judges were very moved by this message, moving them to tears. Each one of them takes a moment to share their feelings, especially that of Nikki and Daphne, who share anecdotes about themselves and people they know who are forced to grow up in a world that didn't accept them. Daphne, during critiques, in fact, shared the story of a boy named Luca, who, well, to use a euphemism, didn't get a chance to grow up at all. This scene is an emotional one. It's beautiful, it's poetic. Seeing this moment shared between queer people in one space about their hopes of a better future, about changing the minds of the bigoted, about protecting one's own, I found myself getting choked up a bit because I'm reminded of my own stories and the stories of my friends and the community around me. This is a sensitive topic and it hurts. It really hurts. But it's something that we all as queer people share. But though it hurts, it's something that we find solidarity in so that we might help each other grow from it. Because at the end of the day, we have each other. Which is why it is so important to protect our own, to protect the trans people of color that are the backbone of our community, to protect the LGBTQ plus people that have legislation actively working against them, to protect queer kids like Luca so that they might grow up safely in a world that we hope will one day accept them. So thank you, Drag Race France, to the judges, to the contestants, for reminding us of this, of our duties to the community, of our obligations to the families we choose, of our hopes for a better world. So, how can we follow up this beautiful moment? With one of the best runways we've ever seen, of course. Can you tell I still don't know how to segue? The runway category this week was excess couture. Basically, come down the runway in the most ostentatious couture outfit you can either find or make. And this truly is one of the best runway collections we have ever seen on Drag Race. Every single look was a toot, some of them a shoot. There are few runways on Drag Race where every single person ate to this degree. Once again, going back to Drag Race España 2 Episode 2, we have the Day of the Beast look. On Holland 2 Episode 3, we have the Monsters Ball, which is interestingly enough another Beast-themed runway. This one, excess couture, is truly up there. All the girlies wanted to turn a look, and turn a look they did. Personally, notable standouts are Cookie, Mami Wata, and Keiona, who we will be talking about soon. After critiques, though, the girls untuck in the Interior Illusions Lounge. No, I'm kidding, they just untuck backstage. And, oh, this is good. The girls enter in high spirits, saying they don't know who's going to be in the bottom because no role was below any others and everyone got a chance to shine. Ginger, oh, good old Ginger, she chimed in and said, I don't feel that way at all. I was given the part that nobody wanted, but when I tried to fight for other roles, I was shot down. And she used Cookie as an example of someone who shot her down. And Cookie Cunty defends herself. And oh, it's so good. So good. I'm actually going to spare you the details because I want you to watch this episode and find something new to enjoy without me spoiling everything. But Cookie is a gaslight gatekeep girl boss queen. And you know what? Whatever. I will tell you one thing that she said because it's too good. It is too good. You know, maybe it is my fault. I want what's best for the group, and I'm always trying to help. It's okay. I won't do it again. Like, she just gives me white 39-year-old almond mom who loves to gaslight her children. And I eat it up. My friend Leo, who you should also follow on all of his socials, he said it best when he said that Cookie gives you good old classic early season Drag Race drama, and it is too true. I know that the Drag Race France producers are probably trying to paint Cookie as the villain because of this encounter in conjunction with her tiff with Sarah Forever last week, but I do not care. I am eating it up, and go give it a watch. But there is one more thing that I would like to talk about. The cherry that really tops off this whole experience is the winner of this challenge, Mother Keiona. Keiona finally won her first maxi challenge. To analyze why this is so significant, we have to leave this episode and expand outwards into the first 4 episodes of the season. Oh look, it's our pin from way up there. Prior to this moment, Keiona has spent 4 long episodes of being in the top without winning a challenge. She lost to Sarah, to Piche, to Sarah again, and then to Punani. And last episode, it seemed to reach a boiling point for her.
Voilà, c'est encore une victoire qui m'échappe. Moi, je suis très très déçu.
Keiona, Moon, excellente semaine, vous restez avec nous. Vous pouvez rejoindre les autres.
Il y a quand même une frustration et un goût doux amer de se dire qu'on fait bien, mais jamais assez bien. Et toujours pas, ma belle. Toujours pas. Mais je pense que je vais aller chercher la victoire.
And that is a feeling that is not lost on us, the fans, as well. Imagine being a Keiona stan like us and watching victory escape her 4 times in a row. But now that it's reached a boiling point for her, we immediately have a storyline. And at least based on trends of previous seasons of Drag Race, we can kind of tell that this is going to determine the outcome of the next episode. Because Drag Race loves a story. And we know that for episode 5, because of this confessional right here from episode 4, there was one of 2 options. Option A, she finally wins the next week. Or option B, she's in the bottom. Oh, trust and believe how happy I was when Drag Race France chose the right option. Seeing Keiona win this challenge satiates this long 5-episode thirst that we've all been going through. And it genuinely is so satisfying to see her in that look after this challenge finally snag that win. It just really was the polish on this already beautiful episode. I think Drag Race France 2 is really defying the odds right now. It's been such a fun watch thus far, and I've been so impressed by it, this episode only being one part of that. So I'm just excited to see where it goes from here, especially knowing that it's going to be the 3rd franchise to get a live finale. That I sadly didn't get tickets to. Let it be known I tried. Did you guys watch this episode? Did you like it? Did you love it as much as I did? Let me know in the comments, and while you're down there, why don't you consider subscribing? It would mean a lot to me if you did, and I'll make more content that you might all enjoy. I'm sorry that this video was kind of hastily done. I know it's gonna be like sloppily edited, sloppily thrown together. I just really wanted to get this out before episode 6 of France 2 comes out tomorrow. Or before it comes out today. I don't really know when this video is gonna go live. Nonetheless, I hope you all agree with what I had to say, but if not, as always, remember, I am just a gay person talking on the internet.